Right to life advocacy, it's another obstacle. A simple failure of nerve. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. The right to life, meaning of preborn children, regained much of the ground it lost on a fateful winter's day. But that right had lost much ground even before that January 22nd, 1973 decision in a case called Jane Roe versus Henry Wade. It lost that ground because religious instruction ceased to be an understood part of schooling in America. A notion took hold that respecting an establishment of religion within the meaning of the First Amendment meant respecting any role of religion in the public square or in government policy. Anyone hoping to reestablish a right to life starting from conception must eliminate that notion. Before I tell you why, and more to the point, how to do it, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I've chosen for today. Can you see the unborn child? See the umbilical cord? Now, read the caption. Not your body, not your choice. A concept essential to the right to life, and I maintain to the continuance of American civilization. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Donald J. Trump gave an interview yesterday, and that interview gives me pause today. He still has a reputation as the most right-to-life president in American history. He earned that title chiefly through his judicial and justicial nominations. They most famously included Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. Gorsuch took the place of another right-to-life justice, Antonin Scalia. And Kavanaugh replaced a swing justice, but Barrett replaced the most formidable foe of a preborn child's rights on the court, when said foe died. The decision in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization was the almost inevitable result. Almost, because, after all, the Fifth Circuit had ruled in favor of the Jackson Women's Health Organization. And why did they do that? Because they did not feel comfortable challenging a Supreme Court rule. Conservative judges don't do that sort of thing, and Brett Kavanaugh seemed to be a stickler for process, not an advocate for any particular public policy. In the end, the two old-line proponents of the right to life, Justices Samuel A. Alito and Clarence Thomas, carried the day. Chief Justice Roberts' concurrence in the judgment, but not in Sam Alito's reasoning, told why the appointments of Barrett, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh determined the outcome. But even the most right-to-life president is not necessarily a perfect one. Now, in this interview with Todd Starnes, to which I've left a link in the description, Mr. Trump said that an absolute right-to-life platform cannot win today. Trump said Democrats have set a trap on the subject of preborn life. He cited the failures of election of Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania and Tudor Dixon in Michigan as examples. According to him, they fell into the trap. And to avoid the trap, he says, we must compromise, which specifically means that in 3 classically exceptional cases, the right to life is not absolute. What are these 3 cases? Actually, I think you know them. 2 of them I don't really want to describe because they involve concepts that are not exactly family-friendly. One of them involves an act that is always criminal and is probably the worst thing a man can do to a woman. The other involves people having intimacy when they are perhaps a little too closely related by blood. The third is easier to name, cases in which a mother could lose her life if she tried to carry a preborn child to term. These are tragic cases, but even so, unless it's impossible for the preborn child involved to live, let's say with ectopic pregnancy, well, other than that kind of case, such cases ought not vitiate the right of another human being to live. If they do, that reflects the failure, or more likely the absence, of religious education, and the notion that God is not real. For that, blame James G. Blaine of Maine, Speaker of the House in 1875. He promulgated amendments to state constitutions, essentially forbidding religious instruction in government schools. His mindset informed the Supreme Court in cases like Lemon versus Kurtzman. But the court has taken care of this too. Carson versus Macon invalidates any discrimination by state or local government against religious persons or institutions. Kennedy, that's no relation to the justice, the Kennedy versus Bremerton School District directly invalidates the Lemon test of faculty activity with students. Now, these cases do not directly establish divine principles as binding on the civil law, but they do open the way for Christian educators to teach pupils at all grade levels that God is real. But that holds if conservatives, and especially Christians, are willing to act. So, how shall we act? Before I tell you, I do want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com and learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. I was about to tell you how to act. First, start now to eliminate all remaining Blaine amendments from state constitutions and all remaining Blaine laws in states that don't have that in their constitution. Voters can and should elect legislators who will introduce resolutions to repeal such amendments and bills to repeal such laws. Louisiana did that. More than that, remember what I said a month and a half ago? The courts are the new conservative theater today. I encourage conservative activists and legal aid societies who are part of the Judge Advocate General's Corps of the, if you will, the army of freedom lovers, to sue, to enjoin all states from enforcing those Blaine amendments and any laws that substitute for them. The Carson precedent clearly shows that none of those amendments can or should stand. Second, elect candidates to boards of education who will return explicitly religious education to our schools. Let me give you an example. From my experience, I attended a public school in Berks County, Pennsylvania from 1965 to 1969. My teachers put on nativity plays and even taught the hymn, "Come Ye Thankful People Come," at Thanksgiving. The Lemon test stopped all such activity. But Coach Joe Kennedy of Bremerton in Washington State won the right to resume it for all teachers. Not only that, but the school board couldn't stop him. Now, I do not mean to discriminate against non-Christians, nor suggest such a course, nor tolerate it. That kind of discrimination has never been a valid exercise of Christian evangelism in any case. Just remember that not everyone who calls himself Christian really is, and not everyone who claims to be following the Bible really is. But Nothing should ever again stop a school or a teacher from teaching that God is real and all that follows from that. Now, how long do I think it will take to restore the right to life to the place it once held in American law? And if you don't believe it once did, read Justice Alito's opinion in Dobbs. He lays it all out. So how long will it take? Probably a generation. But as conservatives, we have more than the law on our side. We have simple demographics, if we will use them. Secularists in general do not have children. They don't even like them. In a recent interview, Michelle Obama actually called children a name that usually means someone who does very bad things to advance a political cause that might or might not be just. But conservatives do like children. The most radical thing any conservative can do is to marry and create a family. The enemies of life know this, hence the spate of policies unfriendly to families. School elections were, until recently, the sleepiest of all elections. As I know, as an officer of election, working school elections with their abysmally low turnout. Not anymore, and we cannot afford that anymore. If your school is doing your children dirty, you tell them you'll do more than sue them. Tell them you'll run for the Board of Education, or for your County Board of Supervisors, or City Council, if one of those bodies appoints your local school board. The goal must be to make the next generation understand why the exceptions are unsound, while also making those exceptional cases ever less likely, meaning they will be less likely to commit acts of certain kinds. Only such a generation will declare the right to life absolute. Link in the description of the article, to Todd Starnes' interview with Donald Trump, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store, and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. And on the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to that earlier video in which I talked about courts as the new conservative theater, and even earlier videos I made post Dobbs, or after the Great Leak. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.